Welcome, welcome, welcome to Leadershipisation, all things leadership. I'm Beth Bergen. I'm a leadership and a communication coach. I work with managers, business owners, executives, and often with their teams. And I'm all about increasing that leadership and communication so that we can have greater success in our productivity, in our earning capability, but also in choosing the kind of lifestyle that matters most to us. And I'm here each Tuesday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for the positive feedback that I've received about last week's session, which was about the social skills that we need to embrace leadership in a positive kind of way. And that led me to thinking that this week I wanted to talk about some strategies that I think are missing, but that I know have a really good impact on the engagement and the productivity of the teams that we're looking at. Now, would you agree? Work is complex. It's becoming more and more complex. There's a lot of technology that's being embedded into work these days. There's an awful lot of change that is happening all the time with the work that we're doing. Our teams or our workforce is much more multi-generational than it's ever been. We've got these hybrid kind of arrangements where some people are in the office more often than others are. We can never be sure whether we're going to get the whole team in the office together on a particular day. There's lots of competing priorities. There's lots of different agendas out there in terms of what we're doing to please different groups, different influences within the sector that we work in. We might have a lot of government regulations. We might have a lot of things to do with something like climate change or political correctness. We also have more and more measuring tools in the workplace. If we choose to, we can attach a sensor to a vehicle and check to see where people are driving. We can check to see when people are logging on and when they're actually working on their computers. We can check to see whether work has been done or not by setting into place all sorts of task lists for people to fill out. And all of these things are things that impact on our engagement and our productivity. And what I've observed through my clients and through my network is that what this means is that most of us have become really, really serious, potentially a little too serious about the business of work. So one thing is missing. And I've really felt this one thing is missing for quite some time. And then the other day, I read an article, a piece by a guy called William Arruda, who's a well-known personal branding coach. And I read a piece about that William Arruda had written. And it reminded me, it put me back to, a comment that I've made over and over again to my clients and to my friendship and my business network. And that is, where is the fun? Where is the fun? Because what I know is that our brain is actually hardwired for fun. We respond really well to fun. Fun is what it builds that creativity. It increases the likelihood that there's going to be innovation and that we'll solve problems. And it as a result of this, it increases the productivity. And when those things are aligned, job satisfaction automatically goes up. What happens is that when we're feeling good, when we're having fun, that feel-good hormone, the dopamine, is there, and that increases our motivation, our learning, our ability to be creative, to solve problems, and really importantly, because it's increasing our learning, it increases our memory retention. So when we're having fun and the dopamine is there, we're much more likely to consolidate any learning that we're doing at the time. Now, various surveys have been done all around this. And one of them has found that almost 80%, I think it's 79% of employees equate fun in their work environment to higher productivity. And the Gallup poll suggests that 21% acknowledge that when they're more engaged at work, their productivity naturally soars. So what happens? What can we do in order to create a fun environment in the workplace? Well, the more creative we can allow and encourage people to be, the more likely there is to be innovation. So if we can create a space where fun is okay, fun is accepted, then we reduce stress, we create a more open and relaxed environment. People are more likely to take calculated risks. And that's where that innovation comes in. So creating that fun environment doesn't actually take away from all the productivity and the hard work that might be going on. It actually enhances it. And that's why I'd really encourage you to think about this. People are more engaged if they know that coming to work is going to be fun. And the happier they are, the more productive they are. I'll keep coming back to that. You know, if you have fun in your teams, whether you do it virtually or the hybrid combination of virtually or in person, stronger teams come through that human connection, better communication. People are more positive. There's better cohesion. There's more trust. And people have a sense of belonging to the team. Who doesn't want to belong to a team? And as a leader, you're going to want a team where people do feel they belong. Now, the other thing that happens is this. When there is fun, when fun is embedded in your environment, in your team, you're more likely to hold on to staff. And if you can retain staff, it doesn't take long for word to get around about that, and you are then much more likely to attract that top talent. Yeah? You're going to attract that top talent, which means that your ability to be creative, to problem solve, to enhance the productivity, to get better outcomes, to increase profit, all of those things are going to come along because you're retaining and attracting top talent. Now, it's at this point that a lot of people might be saying, Beth, I don't want to be having fun in the workplace. Who wants to be that silly? We want to just get on with the process of doing the work that needs to be done. I think that if what you do is check the values or the vision or the mission statement of a number of large companies, particularly those who might have had huge influence over the last 10 to 15 years, what you'll see is that quite a number of them have fun embedded in their values and their vision and their mission, which means that fun is an essential component of every single day. Remember what I said earlier, our brain, the human brain, is hardwired to be seeking to have fun. Make sure that what you're doing in your team is rewarding fun. Because when you reward fun, when you help your team to understand that fun, woven through each day's activities, fun is what's expected, and you actually reward it, the team is much more likely to participate. Now, what can be really difficult is, Beth, I hear you. Fun is something that's going to really advantage me and my team. The challenge that you have is, well, haven't been having fun up to this point. So what do I do to increase the fun in the workplace? Okay, let's have a look at just five strategies for doing that. What's important is that you think about embedding fun into commonplace work tasks so that it just becomes something that that is there. People see it as being there. So if there's professional development going on, it needs to be fun. Embed some fun into that so that it's not 8 long hours of doing just having to listen all the time. Make sure that there is some fun embedded into that professional development. Think about team building activities that you can do. Now, these can be things that you can do whether people are virtual or whether they're in the room. So if what you do, there are lots of books that are available which have a whole series of team building activities in them. Choose those that are going to be fun. Now, initially, start out by those that are going to be fun and non-threatening. Don't make them too long. Make sure that there are some lessons associated with the fun and that you're able to facilitate it so that people can have a good belly laugh, can learn something about each other, but can also see how that applies to whatever job tasks they're actually doing. That's really important. That's really important. Okay, so the next thing is celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. What's vital is that you celebrate. It's important that you celebrate every single thing, that you acknowledge things. Now, they don't have to be huge, glossy celebrations, but things like a cake, things like a little sticker to put on saying that they are the champion person for the day or the week or the month, those kinds of things. Celebrate and acknowledge the effort and the time people have put in. Gamification becomes something that is there. It's there for you to do. It's there for you to use. I was the MC at a conference, at a 3-day conference at Cape Shank, which is on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria recently, and we used Hoover, which is like the gamification for people to check in and out of sessions, for them to put their comments and their feedback, for them to be able to communicate with each other, with the other attendees, so that there could be connection. But also, really importantly, there was plenty going on. And embed things like that. That makes it a little bit of fun. And obviously, there were prizes for engagement, which really encourage people to get it happening. A final way that you can embed fun into the workplace is to allow and encourage, in fact, your team to individualise their workplace and individualise the approach that they take to doing things. Now, I think that's really important for you to be able to do. So the question for you to ask yourself is this: what are you doing? What are you doing to embed fun into your workday? Lots to think about there. Hey, just a quick reminder, my Leadership and Communication Accelerator, it's a 10-week program. That applications for that are closing very shortly. So if you're interested in that, it's for people just like you who want to skyrocket their leadership and their communication. Reach out. Thanks for the questions and the comments. Pop them in along with hashtag replay. Pop them into the platform that you're watching this on, and I'm happy to get back to you. In the meantime,